Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So this week we are doing a faster upload schedule, I guess. So this is actually going to come out probably tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, sometime sooner than the next
and
Friday.
It's Saturday right now. So we're trying to narrow that gap because we want to give you guys more time to actually see it and comment it so that we can get your feedback faster, I guess, instead of like waiting a whole episode. So yeah, this is how we're going to do things at least today, and hopefully it'll work out.
So, like, you've probably noticed the last few weeks, we've been recording from different locations or we've been trying out different things. And this is all more of an attempt to make things a little bit less complicated for our editor and also to make it a little bit better quality. We just think that having it all on one camera, having it in the same room, being able to like look at each other while we're doing this is so much easier. And also we don't have to wear headsets, which is nice.
It's great, especially for you with your glasses.
Yeah.
I can imagine that's not fun.
Yeah, it's all right. I deal with it. It's not a big problem, but these glasses do seem to go more to the side of my, like, more, I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're not.
I don't wear my
normal
glasses with headphones on because it's so annoying. So I definitely feel that.
Yeah. But this week, I do want to start off by saying, holy shit. The last video, episode 9, worst hospital story with Jen, has been up for about 22 hours, and it's already the most watched video on the channel.
It's great.
I'm
shout out to Jen. Thanks for coming on the podcast. And
shout out
to you guys for sharing that. It's great.
Yeah, I am blown away. I know that we're still a really small channel and really small creators, but like,
and I don't want to keep doing one of these every episode where we're like, talking for the first 5 minutes about how much we appreciate you guys, but it's great. Yeah, thanks. We
really do, though.
It's tuning in.
We really do appreciate you, though. It's we do this for you. We do this for us a little bit, but we do this for you, and it's super cool to see that you all want to see more of us.
Yeah.
So we've gone a little darker the last couple of weeks. Hold on.
What was the episode before last?
It was worst roommates.
Right.
And we talked about how your roommate was going to kill your cat.
Yep.
Who
she's around.
She's around. I think she's behind me. Yeah. But also, shit. Hold on. Welcome back to What's Your Worst? Totally professional production. Okay. I'm Sam. He's Simon. We're 2.5 minutes into the video.
Yeah.
Something like that. But today we're going to lighten things up a bit with it's our 10th episode, and so we're going to lighten things up a bit with our worst movies. Not a story about a time we've been to the
what
movies.
We think our worst movie, like the worst movie in our opinion is.
Yeah, in our opinion.
Yeah.
And
I did some research for this last night.
Oh, you did?
And I watched one of the bad movies that I'm going to talk about.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, he does.
I planned.
He studied up. I'm embarrassed. I did not do as much.
I had a couple margaritas and watched a
good movie,
shitty Disney movie from 10 years ago.
Oh, I wonder. Oh gosh, that gives me another idea for like maybe a follow up. That's good. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know what I'm gonna do. I know which one I'm gonna do. And but I believe I went first last week. So
yeah,
Simon, you have the floor.
So last night Jen made some margaritas, but we watched a Disney original movie starring what's her name? Debbie Ryan, called Radio Rebel. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Never heard of that.
Julia's heard of it. I'm pretty sure.
I believe it. Is it old?
It's from 2012.
So ancient,
I think. Yeah. Well, we were like talking about shitty movies because I brought this up to you yesterday, I think.
Yesterday morning.
As far as like a topic, and I was like thinking about it for 12 hours, and then I was like, I can't remember anything. But I watch a YouTuber called Danny Gonzalez, who is hilarious, and he did a like reaction video to the entire movie Radio Rebel. And so he, I think, kind of summed it up the best. So I'll link his video in the description. But essentially, the plot of it and here's where I'm gonna try to remember things pretty well because I was a couple marks deep when we watched this last night. But there is a high school student who, by day, is just a regular, super shy, super like she is terrified of everything. But by night, she is Radio Rebel, a like bedroom DJ that the entire high school loves. And so
I love it.
it's awful. It's terrible. But
It's part of the reason why it's
took some
terrible.
notes, too.
It's part of the reason why it's terrible is because the actors take it super seriously, or is it because it's a Disney movie, a Disney Channel? Is it a Disney Channel original movie?
I think it's a Disney Channel original. I don't think it's like it's definitely not a professional Disney movie.
and they're yeah. So quite the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
I took notes because I know that the entire movie feels like a fever dream, and so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to remember the key points of it. But I highly recommend everyone watch it at least once. It's on Netflix, so it's
Easy
not,
access.
It's easy access. Yeah,
I'm surprised it's not on Disney Plus.
me too. We were like looking for it there for a little bit, and I was like, I think it's just on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you like search it, and it's like, you know how if you Google a movie or something,
It'll show you all
sometimes
the-
it'll show like what
streaming
where you can
platform,
watch
yeah.
it. Yeah, it put like Quibi or something.
Quibi?
Yeah, I don't remember why, or maybe not Quibi, but some like kind of sketchy looking thing.
Quibi's new. Quibi's pretty new.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's,
I don't know. It
it's
looked
trying
like
to
that.
replace.
I was like, I definitely didn't watch it there the first time. So
Quibi's like trying to replace YouTube or something, and
I think Quibi is like you're a celebrity that can't really go out because it's quarantine right now, and so you're directing and acting in your own like short films.
right, and it's meant to
It's
be
like
short
YouTube
format.
for rich people.
Yeah, because I think you do have to pay, subscribe to it.
Yeah.
Which is silly when you can just go to YouTube.
Yeah.
And get excellent content like the video you're watching. But so tell me more about the movie though. So she's Radio Rebel.
So she's Radio Rebel. Her best friend, who I think is named Audrey. I don't remember her name at all. We'll just call her Debbie because that's Debbie Ryan's name. Who I also had never heard of really before this movie. I don't know if Debbie Ryan's in any other big movies, but
Maybe
give me a look.
maybe Simon can put her acting credits on the screen.
yeah, I'll just roll through everything real
The
quick.
Wikipedia filmography.
Yeah. But her best friend has no idea that she's Radio Rebel. And there's one quote that kind of stuck out to me as like the first "this is a terrible movie" quote, which is, "How do we reject the status quo when the status quo is status quo?" And I think that they just liked hearing that word so much that they were just like, we'll just throw it in everywhere. But that's like within the first 5 minutes maybe of the movie. I should have put timestamps. But that kind of sets the tone of like how bad this is going to be. Because you're watching it and you're like, this could be an okay movie. Like there's definitely movies like this already. It's basically the same movie as like, oh man, I have no idea. But there's definitely movies that I've seen before that have been like this. But it's like a shitty high school kind of like movie where you try to feel bad for everyone. But her dad, Radio Rebel's dad, works at the local radio station Slam FM.
Naturally.
Slam FM in Seattle, which I don't believe is an actual radio station.
Probably
but
not. Does it have an even numbered megahertz?
There was no like radio whatever, but it was also filmed in Vancouver, I'm pretty sure, just like everything else in Seattle.
Everything's filmed in Canada. It's either Canada or Georgia. Like those are the only places that where you film
I'm sure
things.
for like tax reasons, but
Yeah.
But my second note here is remember in 2012 when everyone wore 14 layers that were all paper thin? That's the costume theme. So there's like 14 hoodies stacked on top of each other to give the illusion that you're wearing a real amount of clothes. Because that's what 2012 was, right? Like we were still in high school,
Yeah,
and people were wearing stuff like that.
the only thing I remember about 2012, well, I was not the only thing, but I remember I was having a conversation with Zach the other day, my roommate Zach. He pulled up a meme or just a photo that was a phone reminder, an iPhone reminder, stop Coney 2,500 days ago. Like, and that was a 2012 thing.
Oh man,
Stop Coney.
never forget Coney.
Yeah, never forget
I
Coney.
completely forgot about Coney until like just now. I hope we stopped him.
Yeah,
We got him.
I hope we got him because I don't remember if we did.
Anyway,
Back to the high school
Yeah.
film and the costumes of 2012.
so there's also like 4 fedoras for the entire cast. I'm pretty sure.
They're
'Cause
all-
fedoras were big back then too.
Are they all wearing the same one? Are they all wearing like?
There are a
similar-
couple of actors that wear the same fedora in different shots of the movie. I think I noticed like 3 or 4 unique ones until the last scene when I think they got a budget for like an extra 1 or 2.
I went through a fedora phase. I totally get it.
Yeah, everyone did. It wasn't good, but
Yeah, I mean, if
happens.
you didn't go through a fedora phase, you're
You're lying
to yourself. Yeah, it's something that everyone goes through because they think it's a cool hat, and then they grow up a little bit and they're like, oh wait, hold on, why'd I do that?
yeah. But in addition to Audrey and Debbie, there are 2 twin boys that look nothing alike that are trying to track down the actual identity of Radio Rebel. And that is their whole subplot. And throughout the entire movie, you see them just like popping up out of trash and like looking around trying to spot her coming out of the Slam FM studios.
They're like Oscar the Grouch, but they're just sleuthing.
Yeah. So there's gonna be some spoilers for this movie at this point. I think it's fair to say that if you've made it this far, you don't care about spoilers. But eventually, her dad finds out who she is, like that she is Radio Rebel, and she gets hired at Slam FM to be the new like DJ host of Wednesday nights at like 7 p.m. And so she is terrified of the whole situation. There's a point where she hides behind a fridge when she shows up to Slam FM because there is one other person that she like is trying to talk to her, and she is so scared of everything that she hides behind a fridge. Not well, you can still see her, but
Because it's Disney Channel, you need to know that she's there. Like,
yeah. That scene is probably the worst one of all.
has she shown at any other point that she's a nervous person?
Yes, I think she has 4 lines in the first 20 minutes of the movie. Everything else is just her like
It's like
Hiding.
hi, I'm Radio Rebel. Like her four
don't know.
words. I don't know, four words, 4 lines.
I think it's 4 lines.
4 lines. Okay.
Yeah. But
So repeat that 3 times.
Refuses to talk during class. There is a point where she is asked to come up to the chalkboard to write something or a whiteboard to write something, and she writes it in the smallest font possible, turns around, stares at the class for a solid like 2 seconds, and then turns back around and just like slams the marker down and runs out.
So she has crippling social anxiety,
Yes.
but she is a very confident radio host.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
I understand what they were going for here.
Drawing some similarities between yourself and Radio Rebel.
Oh no, I've always been really good at handling myself in
Good at
public.
talking. So the principal is
talk
like
good.
the principal of the school is also super against Radio Rebel. Like she is trying to figure out who it is because she knows that she goes to the high school, but she is like threatening to expel the student for no reason other than she has a radio show and people like it.
Is it a public high school?
Yes, I think so.
Because if it's a public high school, I feel like you can't do that.
No, there's definitely no justification for expelling the student.
Because I've heard of like private high schools that don't allow their students to have jobs.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like that's more of an international thing. I feel like that's more elsewhere than other than America. But I'm sure there are places that, mostly boarding schools, that don't allow their students to have jobs because it takes away from them being a student.
I guess that makes sense, but at the same time, it really doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, this is a
Like,
hobby.
Yeah.
And it's not affecting the student body negatively,
No.
other than that they're engaged by this person.
It's giving them more confidence.
So it's
kind of.
so insert evil character.
Yeah,
That's the principal.
You got your evil principal. That is the main antagonist.
Mm-hmm. And you got the guys who are trying to figure out who Radio Rebel is.
Yeah, and then there's also a band called the G's, which is made up of Gabe, who is the second bad guy of the other subplot, and Gavin, who is the main love interest. That's why they're called the G's. I didn't realize the first guy's name was Gabe until like the end of the movie.
Gabe and Gavin.
Yeah, but things happen throughout the entire time, and the principal ends up canceling prom until she finds out who Radio Rebel is.
Mm-hmm.
And so Slam FM, when they hear about this and the students get really pissed off at Radio Rebel for canceling prom, Slam FM hosts their own prom called Morp, which is prom backwards. I don't remember how they got there. I'm pretty sure someone just said backwards, and Debbie Ryan was like,
Morp.
Morp.
That hurts.
It does hurt.
I'm so happy I've never heard of this film.
You need to watch it. Watch it with Julia tonight.
No.
Yeah, but where was I going with that? Morp, right. So Morp happens, and they crown their Morp king and queen. The Morp king is Gabe, I think.
It's not the love interest guy?
It might...
It's
not the love interest guy.
Okay.
It's Gabe. And the Morp queen, the race is between Radio Rebel, not Debbie Ryan, Radio Rebel, this person that nobody knows who it is, and the, like, popular girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so Radio Rebel wins. The popular girl gets, like, really pissed off, and Debbie Ryan comes on stage and is like, I'm Radio Rebel. I'm going to give my crown to popular girl, because there was a whole lot of back and forth throughout the rest of the movie, but essentially it's like their way of trying to settle their differences and be like, look, we're fine.
Right. I don't want to be the Morp queen.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be Radio Rebel.
Yeah. And then the principal comes out and is like, okay, now that I know who you are, you're expelled. Get out of here. Even though it's a private event, because it's not like hosted by the school or anything. Yeah. I don't know who let her in. But it ends more or less with... Have you ever seen the movie Spartacus?
I should have, but I haven't.
Well, so there's a scene in Spartacus where when the people come to like take Spartacus away because he's the underdog, basically, everybody in the crowd starts shouting that they're Spartacus. The same exact thing happens.
I'm Radio Rebel. I'm Radio Rebel.
Yeah.
I'm Radio Rebel.
Yeah. And apparently, despite the fact that it's very obvious that it's Debbie Ryan, the principal can't do anything at that point because you can't expel everyone.
Right. It's like the...
And then the movie ends with Gavin and Radio Rebel
together,
I think.
But no chemistry? Like, no...
There's chemistry.
But
the
like...
chemistry is like... It's throughout the movie that you can obviously tell that Gavin likes Debbie Ryan's character.
But is it fabricated? Is it, like, forced?
No, it looks... It seems more genuine than the rest of the movie does.
So that's the only good plot of the movie, is the love story.
And it's not even that good.
Right. Because they're high school students.
Yeah, there is a twist at the end of the movie. I'm not going to spoil that part because it's great. Like, that's probably the best part, is the twist at the very end. So it's an hour and a half. You have to sit through the entire thing to watch it. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Why do I have to do this? Why are you doing this to me?
But that's Radio Rebel.
And that's your...
And it's bad. Yeah. I was thinking of other movies that we could talk about for this. And this one came up because I think we were watching other Danny videos, like Danny Gonzalez videos, and like we saw this one somewhere. But yeah, it's not a good movie. You have to watch it.
Okay. I'm not gonna
do it.
I don't wanna.
So what's your bad movie?
So I've brought this up on the podcast before, and my bad movie is an old faithful classic. The Room.
Ooh.
And before anyone who knows me
Jeff.
jumps into the comments and says, "How dare you betray me? You betray me and my trust." And know that I love this movie.
Jeff loves this movie
Jeff,
too.
this might be Jeff's favorite movie.
Okay.
Besides maybe Happy Gilmore, but
It's still a bad movie.
it is objectively bad.
Yeah.
And here's why. For those of you who don't know, The Room is a privately produced film, 2003 film by Wiseau Films, which was a film company started by the very mysterious Tommy Wiseau, maybe part vampire. You never know.
Maybe whole vampire.
Maybe
We don't
whole
know.
vampire. You never know. But he's an extremely eccentric New Orleans resident who is probably not from New Orleans.
No, he's definitely not from New Orleans.
No, but probably not. So
Probably not.
but probably not. It's unclear.
Yeah.
This movie basically, it's a love story / tragedy / betrayal, and it mostly takes place within. No, it almost entirely takes place within the apartment building that the main character, played by Tommy Wiseau, Johnny, the main character Johnny, lives.
Yeah.
With his future wife, Lisa. And his best friend Mark, played by Greg Sestero.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Every time we say the word Mark, we gotta
Take a shot.
no.
That's our drinking game.
No. I was gonna say every time one of us says the word Mark, you have to like add another clip of us saying, "Oh, hi, Mark."
Oh, hi, Mark.
That could be fun, but or it could be horribly tedious for you to edit. But
No, I mean,
I
I'll
don't
do
want
it.
to. Anyway, so he has a best friend, Mark, who is having a secret affair with his future wife, Lisa, and I keep saying future wife because that's how Johnny
he doesn't
describes
say
her.
fiance.
He doesn't say fiance. He says future wife about 10 times throughout the movie.
At least.
Yeah.
We'll go through and count it.
We can count it. I haven't watched the movie in about a year. And it's still, like I said, this is still one of my favorite movies. But basically the premise is Johnny is struggling to get a promotion at work, and he is preparing for his wedding with Lisa. But Lisa is having this affair with Mark behind his back in their home. Mm-hmm. And and you know this because there's about 4 sex scenes in the film.
In the first like 20 minutes.
There's 3 in the first 20 minutes, and you know it's coming when you hear the R&B.
Because they play the same track for the entire.
I don't think it's the same, but they're really bad.
Yeah.
They're like the worst R&B songs that they could have picked, and they don't mix the sound very well.
No.
And then there is another friend, Denny, who is basically.
I always assumed it was Danny.
It's Denny.
It's Denny?
Like
Denny's?
Denny, Denny, like Denny's.
That's
and
great.
Yeah, and he's like 19 years old, 20 years old. But he's basically Johnny's surrogate son.
Yeah.
And he and Lisa have been taking care of him and putting him through college. But Denny also has a crippling drug addiction. But we only hear about it through other people.
Right. I forgot about that whole bit.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a whole like gun scene, like where
yeah.
They stop this dude from saying he's gonna kill Denny.
Where's my money, Denny?
Where's my money, Denny? Where's my fucking money, Denny? He's the best character in the whole movie. Definitely the best acted character.
Yeah.
He gets right into it.
Yeah. I mean, Mark's pretty good too, but
Greg Sestero was a professional actor before this.
After this, he couldn't find work.
After this, he had trouble. And you hear it's. I fully recommend reading the book, The Disaster Artist, which was adapted into a film, I think in 2018.
Yeah. It was a good movie.
It was a good movie. Disaster Artist, starring James Franco, Dave Franco, and I think Alison Brie was.
That sounds right.
It was in that one, and Seth Rogen was in that one because he's the one who he helped film it.
Yeah.
But the Disaster Artist, the book, is based on the filming of this movie and Greg Sestero's story into this movie and meeting Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
But
it's like a behind the scenes.
Yeah, but the film basically tries to portray Johnny as this all-American man when he is very clearly not.
Yeah.
And
we might need to hold for plane. I'm really hoping that the F-35s don't come through while we're doing all this. You just can't hear anything for like 45 seconds.
I mean, we'll just throw in some non-copyright music.
Yeah, we'll just play that one R&B song from
You Are My Rose, You Are My Rose, You Are My Rose. Basically, though, it all culminates in, the whole movie culminates in a big confrontation between Johnny and Mark on Johnny's birthday. Funny enough, in 2003, Tommy Wiseau, the director and star of the movie, decided it was a good idea for the birthday scene to include the singing of Happy Birthday, which at that time was not part of public domain.
Yeah.
And must have cost a shitload of money.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it part of public domain now?
It is. It has been since, I looked it up yesterday. It's been part of public domain since June 2016.
Okay.
So feel free to use it in all of your stuff because you can.
Happy.
Yeah. Happy birthday, America. But I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It is July 4th when we're filming this. But that's all we're going to say. And that's all we're going to touch on. But it basically culminates in a fight between Johnny and Mark on Johnny's birthday.
Yeah.
Where everything comes out and Johnny basically decides that his life is over. His life is ruined. How can you betray me? And he also reveals he's been secretly recording everything with like a bug that he put in a phone.
Yeah.
He put in the answering machine, I think. But also Lisa is apparently pregnant.
Really?
Yeah, and we see her drinking several alcoholic beverages throughout the movie.
I mean, she doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
No.
She's just going to leave Johnny.
Her life is down the drain anyway.
She's going to leave Johnny anyway. She's planning to leave Johnny and be with Mark. And then Johnny, I'm going to spoil this movie for you, but you should still see it anyway. Johnny ends up actually like killing himself in the movie, and it's a
pretty dramatic scene.
It's the most dramatic scene in the movie.
Probably the best acted scene.
It's the best acted from him.
Yeah.
It's the best acted from him, but it also, because of the previous 80 minutes you've just seen, it's super campy. It seems super campy.
Yeah.
And basically
it also takes him like a minute to do it. Like,
yeah. So it's a really like hard scene to watch, but it's just so slow. It's so slow.
It's like you don't want to be in that mind space for more than like 20 seconds.
Right. Now I'm not encouraging anyone. I'm not saying that like it was boring watching this fictional character's suicide. But like
very emotional.
It was a very emotional scene in this horrible movie. And the basically the gunshot, he uses a gun and the gunshot alerts Lisa, Denny, and Mark, who are still around.
Yeah.
And Mark basically tells Lisa, I can't be with you. You deserve to be alone. He did this because of you.
What a shitty thing to say.
Yeah. And
Mark's kind of an asshole.
Mark is kind of an asshole
through the entire movie.
The whole movie. He's basically like, we've been told to believe that he and Johnny are best friends, and there's not even a single scene that really shows that they are throughout the entire movie.
They play catch.
They play a lot of catch.
They play a lot of catch.
They play a lot of catch the entire movie with a football. They throw football a ton. And but the room is has been around for a while. It was released one time in theaters because Tommy had to throw a lot of money at a small theater in LA to show it, to have it actually have a real premiere.
Yeah.
And it was not received well.
Well, of course not. It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie. And
what other movies came out in 2003? The Incredibles?
probably Spider-Man 2? No.
Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 1?
No, Spider-Man 1
was in 2001,
I thought it was 2001.
2002?
I thought it was 2002, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
Although
I think there's some promotional stuff with the Twin Towers.
Yeah, you're right. So I think it might have came out in 2001.
Yeah, 2001 or 2002.
That was a good movie.
That was a great movie. We'll talk about that one next.
But yeah, but the Room is as bad of a movie as it is. It's garnered a cult following, and I've seen it several times. I love that film, but it is objectively bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought about other movies I could have talked about for this one. Bringing up the fact that you brought up a Disney Channel original movie made me think of Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, which really does not age well.
Never heard that.
Yeah.
Is it on Disney Plus?
It is.
Okay, great.
And I'm surprised you hadn't.
I'm just gonna watch a lot of these movies today.
But like Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off did not age well, and I know it's not right. It's not fair to judge an older movie by today's like social standards.
Yeah,
but
at the same time, like it's always been wrong to do some shitty things like that.
There's a lot of sexism. It's not a great plot. Like Eddie suddenly is like the golden boy out of nowhere because that's what he is. He's portrayed as the golden boy in every scene. He's really
I've never
messy.
heard of this movie before.
You should watch it. You'd hate it.
Okay, great.
But
yeah, there were definitely a couple of like runner-ups that I wanted to talk about. Like Jen suggested Cats, because Cats is an objectively bad movie, but I love it.
He brought this up in episode 2.
Yeah, I love it. Gooby is another one. I think it's called Gooby. But another.
Oh, she mentioned this one.
Yeah, it was another.
I never heard of it.
Another movie that we had heard of from a reaction video. Mac and Me is a notoriously bad movie. It's like
I don't know
an
that one.
ET ripoff kind of thing. I've also never watched it though. We should have watched it last night, so I could have gotten an idea.
Star Wars Episode 9: Rise of Skywalker.
I'm
just kidding.
I mean, I would give that one like a 4.
It's not.
10.
It's not the worst movie ever.
No,
it's not the worst. They're really fun moments.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a bad Star Wars movie.
There's better Star Wars movies.
Yeah, like Solo. I actually didn't mind Solo.
I didn't mind Solo either.
After the first like 20 minutes when they changed directors, and you can tell like where that changed, it worked a lot better.
Solo.
Yeah, after that scene, it's great.
He didn't have a last name. Oh, you're gonna give him one. He's gonna accept that from the Imperial Army.
Yeah,
that's silly. The casting in that movie was really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Having Donald Glover be Lando is just such a good casting.
Yeah,
and the
Donald Glover in anything.
He still calls him Han like Lando does later.
I am absolutely okay with Donald Glover in pretty much anything. Donald Glover in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, he was in Homecoming, and he's probably going to come back if they do a live-action Miles Morales movie, which it seems to be in the works.
I hope so,
because he portrayed.
Into the Spider-Verse was probably my favorite movie.
I hear they're planning to do. I hear they might be doing, or I've seen suggestions that they might be trying to do a live-action Spider-Verse movie.
I would love that. I would have mixed feelings about it, just because
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are old enough that you could definitely pull it off.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
And not feel weird about it.
Yeah, because they look older than they did when their movies came out. Right. So they just look like older Spider-Man, but Spider-Mans.
Yeah. But the other thing is Donald Glover played Miles Morales in Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series.
I've got no idea.
I know he played Miles Morales in another Spider-Man show. So that's why they got him for Homecoming. That's why John Watts got him for Homecoming.
That's cool.
Yeah, to be Aaron Davis. But This is all fun future conversations, though. I'm sorry to have you sort of look
I
in.
honestly could probably talk about Spider-Man for
Yeah, Spider-Man's was growing up. Spider-Man was one of my favorite heroes, like favorite superheroes.
a Spider-Man comic.
That's
that I
true.
found
You do have
up
a
there.
Spider-Man comic.
Yeah,
Is that just a photo or is that actually a
it's
comic?
a comic.
Which one? I actually can't tell from here.
Web of Spider-Man with the Molten Man.
That's cool.
Yeah, I found it at a thrift store and I was like, I like the way that this looks.
And so you got it framed.
Yeah, I mean, I just bought a frame, but that's the thing with like shit like this. Like, unless I have a very deep emotional connection to it, I'm just gonna buy it if it looks cool and I like the theme of it. Like, I love Spider-Man. I like Star Wars, which is why I've got a Star Wars poster there. I think that one actually came from Jeff.
It did. It came from Jeff.
Yeah.
Back when we lived it with Jeff. I think it was right around the time that movie came out.
Yeah, I think he was like, I got a, because it's like a
It's a canvas
cloth one. It's a canvas one. Yeah.
Yeah. And you frame that one.
Yeah.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
But we're going a little longer, I think, than we expected to. So I I hope you liked this whole setup. I think that this is probably the future of how we're going to be doing this, at least in the next few episodes. And comment down below for future movie ideas.
Movie ideas. We could turn this into a movie podcast. We could record another movie podcast after this.
It's possible. And we are, as we just hit episode 10, so this is a cool milestone for us. We are thinking about like other ways we can engage on the channel. This whole format of filming might be able to allow us to do some other stuff. So stay tuned for potentially new things coming soon.
Yeah. Let us know if you want to see any different kind of content from us. Because I enjoy editing, at least.
We're capable.
And I enjoy having conversations and stuff. And I like really seeing all the analytics and the feedback and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
it's been super cool.
yeah. I
And
think that's about it.
yeah.
I never know how to end these things.
Me either. I'm just gonna keep talking and looking at you and not looking at them.
Great.
Bye.